Battery exhausted, she says. I'm fucking exhausted. Right, it's episode 2. We've got to build a neck, haven't we? If you can't remember what's going on in episode, if you've not watched episode 1, go and watch episode 1. And if you're not subscribed, I can't respect that. This is where we are after episode 1, although I've given it a bit of a sanding. It looks a bit sexier in episode 1. Got some preliminary routing. We're moving on to the neck. This is an NF-53 inspired shape. It's not quite the same. It's enough tweaks to not step on anyone's toes, Mr. Reed Smith. All done out of pure homage because I fucking love that shape. I'm putting a PRS neck on this one. I've got some different projects of these coming up. They haven't got PRS headstocks, but this is one that we're putting it on. So shoot me down if you want to shoot me down. People fucking shoot you down anyway, so who gives a toss at this point? Here's me neck blank. It's all very simple. I made this in the first episode. I glued the stock up. It's very, very much oversized. Always make your stock massively oversized. This is 3.5mm oversized. I'm going to check that this is flat now on my piece of headstone, and then if it's not flat, we're going to give it a quick tickle, and then we're going to put it through the thicknesser and make sure that this is bob on. I'm going to put it through the thicknesser, heel first, and because we've got an angled headstock, if I get any snipe, it's not going to matter, is it? Bonce. Right, so here's my headstone, bit of granite that I got given, that I asked for, and I got given. Giveth and thou shalt receive. That is still spanking. Absolutely Jean Moustard. I've just got to thickness this down now to 40mm. Shall we? Should we do some thicknessing? I'll film it, because otherwise what else am I going to put in a fucking video? Here's me fretboard. It's like pale moon, Wannabunna. It's brown and it's got some streaks of colour in it. Right, let's just run down what we're doing, because this episode is already gone to shit. In this episode, I am going to cut this neck to shape. We're going to flatten it, thickness it to 40mm. We're going to cut it to the correct shape. After I've done that, I'm going to mark my nut. I'm going to mark the angle of my headstock. Once I've done that, we're going to get the truss rod in. It's a spoke wheel truss rod. We're going to be shaping out the back. Lovely jubbly. Keep it simple. Glue that down. Glue my fretboard down. And then there's another bit. There's more. You'll have to wait. That's it. That's as far as I've got. That's as far as my brain's got. Let's get it done, shall we? Onwards to the thicknesser. Now, I've run this through the sander because I prefer to glue to a surface that's been sanded rather than planed. I don't know why. I heard Texas Toast say it, so I'll do the same. This is perfectly flat, level and straight. Someone sent me a message and asked, should I be leaving the carve to the last minute? How do I know the wood's not going to do weird things? Well, you don't actually, but I've got opposing grain patterns, so I've done everything I can to make this a stable bit. I cut this to rough length about, I'm just getting comfy. I just cut this to rough sizes, about 4mm oversized. About 3 months ago, it was already kiln dried and I cut it into pieces, way oversized. Generally speaking, when I do that, you get a tiny bit of deflection. I'll flatten them all out, I'll make a neck blank, and I'll then leave that again for a week or so. So this has been sat for ages, and we've seen today it hadn't moved at all. And it just makes everything so easy. Radius in your fretboard, sanding, fretting, the whole lot. Everything is just this solid lump of wood. Everything's a piece of piss. Your fret level, recrown, you can just do it on the bench. It's so much easier than having to support necks. And you've seen people doing bad fret jobs online with the fucking guitars flexing while they're sanding it and stuff. This is the easiest way I've found by far. Anyway, digressions. Let's get on. I'm going to remark my centre line because I can't see it. There seems to be a new noisy dog up there. Don't know what her fucking name is. It sounds like it's trying to communicate with Alan. I don't know how much I'll get filmed today. They are literally slating a dormer roof. So they're just tapping their little copper nails in, and they're going to be doing it all fucking day and night. Better not be doing it all day tomorrow. I'll be fuming.
You're hard.
Right, so next on, this is all nice and piece of piss. There you go. Over to the bandsaw. Follow me. Now I'm going to get this just glued on, stuck on with a bit of tape. We're going to run it through the router profiler, and then I'm ready to put an angle on my headstock. And I'm going to figure out how I'm going to hold this nice and square in my chop saw. I'm going to have to prop this up to make sure that this centre line is parallel. I'm on form today. I'm not on form. Really hungry. So here's my truss rod box. You all know about this. Make sure you've got this is a 25.5 scale length guitar. Make sure you've got the right length truss rod. Truss rods come in varying lengths. And if you get a short one and it doesn't go under the first fret, you're going to have issues. And I'm sure I've seen that in many budget guitars. Interesting point. So I've marked on here, that's where my spoke wheels go in. I've tidied this carve up with a chisel. Because I'm a woodworker. That's what we do around here. That one's on there. I've marked the end of my truss rod. It falls beautifully in the first fret. It's close to the nuts as you're happy with. So yeah, we're basically going to do that. I'm going to route out my truss rod. I've got a router bit that matches the same size. It goes in this box. It holds it beautifully. This is such... I'm going to do a video on this box. I can't remember if I've done a video on this box. But I'll do a video on this box. It'll be a fucking boring video. But it's a hell of an easy way of doing things. This basically goes on top. She's in her little coffin. Everything is designed to work with a 40mm stock. That goes on there. Router runs in the channel. Can't have any wobbles. And it should be a piece of piss. Shall we have a little look? Speedy uppy. Now, every time I do a build, I do things a little bit differently. Normally, if I'm doing a Gibson style length... Normally, if I'm doing a Gibson style neck, my neck blank is 110mm wide and it's dead square and easy, and it's easy to cut things. This one, I put little wings on because I didn't have a lot of beach and I didn't want to fuck up a whole other piece. So what I've got to do here a little bit differently, I've marked where my nut is. This is a PRS style, so we're going to have a 7-degree headstock for. 7 degrees! I've marked, obviously Geico are on board now, and I've got a Geico bone nut. I've marked the thickness of that bone nut. I'm now going to put this on the chop saw. I'm going to cut 7 degrees from that nut line. And I'm going to nibble it a little bit. All I'm going to have to do is make sure that I prop this and make sure that that centre line is parallel along the chop saw. I'll set it up. I'll show you what I mean. It's not normally the way I would do it. And to be fair, I did it this way just to see if I could do it this way. But now I'm doing it this way. Won't do it this way again. I'll make full width neck blanks. It's much better and much easier. And I've saved some bits of beach for the next time I do it. I've got a croaky throat because I've been sanding. See you over on that bit and we'll talk about it with shit Dave's microphone. Right, here we go on car sit cam. There's El Chopperoonie. There's the neck. I've got some square lines which are at 0 degrees on that board, so I know that my neck is being held square. We're set to 7 degrees. I'm making sure, hang on a minute. I'm making sure that when I dip this down that that laser is dead parallel with my nut and everything's fine, and I'm going to make a chop. Right, so that worked, but I won't be doing it that way again. I'll just make full-size neck blanks, but it does work. It's fine. It's cut it. There's too many variables there that could go wrong. You remember that normally I'll make neck blanks oversized. I'll do the headstock angle first because if you cock it up, you've got space to move it back and do another one. That's a bit one-hit wonder, and yeah, there you go. Between me and you, I had to shave a little bit off me blank and do it again because I needed more than a one-hit wonder. But it's fine. It's not the end of the world. I'm happy with that. Let's get the truss rod in and get the fucking thing glued up because I want to go and have some lunch. And I did think, I fancy an Indian salad today. Now, very simply, the truss rod's got a bulbous bit. Everyone knows about the bulbous bit on a truss rod, don't they? So I'll just sit him in the hole. I'll mark where my bulbous bit is, right? 2 little tiny lines. Get out a chisel. On an angle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Now you can include that in your routing template, but I use so many different bits and bobs, there's no point. It's just a tiny little bit you've got to do at the end. Truss rod sits in the O. Right, there we go. We'll end up with a truss rod that's dead flush. If you're a gnat's codpiece low, don't panic. It's not the end of the world. Because we've got a spoke wheel truss rod on here, I need to cut this to rough dimension. Not completely, not exact dimension, but I do need to get the end shaped so that it will sit over my truss rod. And then once I've got the end shaped so it will sit over the truss rod, I need to cut it to length. Once I've got those two dimensions, it's a piece of piss. We can just glue it on. Shall we? I'm in line pretty much with where my nuts go in. That's not an issue. They can be adjusted a little bit if we need to, but everything there is fine. You see lots of people do different techniques. Cutting the fret slots, lining it up with toothpicks and all that sort of stuff. If you do it this way, you don't need to. It's much easier. I do it this way because I cut my fret slots on a chop saw, which means the height doesn't matter. If you're using like a jig, then obviously you have to make adjustments. Blah, 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 blah. It's very serious, isn't it? I'm going to eat some food so that after lunch I'm capable of having a laugh and a joke. Either way, we'll get this fucking neck done today. Carved, finished. Well, maybe not carved. Shall we just see how far we stop making promises, Paul? She'll think she's going to have a good time in a minute.
The next morning.
Right, so on with the next bit. I'm going to cut some fret slots. I've got to be honest with you. A few days have passed. Quite a few days. I've had a little break away from the workshop because, frankly, I'm 44 and lazy as you can fucking get. And I made a monumental cock up just before I left and I've had to rectify my issue. This happened. Have a little look at that picture. Right, I had the idea of using this as a template and putting it, hang on, let me get the bit. Well prepared. I was using this as a template. These bits haven't got bearings, but I tripled up the template so that I could use it and the shaft of the bearing and I could put it on my fretboard. But every time I went in there, it didn't matter whether I cut the fret slots first, whether I did it with binding, whether I've basically done this fretboard 3 times. Hence the fact I had a little break because I was fucking broken. It didn't work. It blew out the fretboard every time. I think if I'm going to do that next time, I have to manufacture it out of a much bigger piece of fretboard and plunge the router in and make those cutouts before I cut the side, which is a bit more awkward, but we're here for learning. Anyway, we're all bound up now. That's looking lovely, isn't it? Very misty at the minute. I've only sanded that to 400 grit. I don't know why I keep hitting it. It's like Mrs. Richards' ass. Yeah! So, yeah, that's only sanded up to 400 grit, so I need a bit of work on that. Now, we've had a bit of a result because I came across a new wood that I didn't know existed, and I've since bought a lot more. This new fretboard is actually bog oak. Woohoo! Now, someone else I know was using it, and I actually got some offcuts, and I said, oh, they'll do for fretboards. Oh, is that a tone fretboard? I don't know, but it's fucking lovely. And looking at the charts, that is 5,000 years old, give or take 1,000 either way. No one fucking knows, do they? And I've bought loads of it because it looks amazing what he's done on the top of a guitar and a cap. So we've got some very, very old bogwood coming. I need to radius this now. I'm going to whop it on the jig. We'll put our 12-inch radius on. We'll get out Mrs. Toxvig. If you don't get that joke, then fucking you're not very clever. And then we will get some inlays. I'm going to go for my ring inlays that I normally put in, so we won't be filming that, or I'll do a speedy uppy. And but it's just going to be silver rings with a black centre. I just want it to look ringage rather than glow in the dark shit. And I'll put some black dots in the top because, oh, that's classy, isn't it? Lovely. Got to be able to see your dots. So let's get over to the radius. I'll run through it. We'll have a quick yap. And yeah, I don't want to go through the same shit every week, do we? But we'll go through that because I want to get on with this guitar because it's really exciting, and everyone who's seen it has gone, that is a stunner. Don't forget, after this one comes a Firebird. And after the Firebird series, from then on, depending on whether or not the client's okay with it, I'll be making 2 of that guitar, and you can enter a raffle and you can win the guitar I'm making every month. That's the plan. Is it a good plan? I don't fucking know. Right, so over on shit camera with shit sound with built-in microphones. Here's a stinky digit. Sniff that. Right, we're all set to radius. This is a jig made by Aaron at Adair Guitars. You can contact him on Instagram and he will sell you these 3D printed cradles. They come in all sorts of what's names. They come with wheels on. I've taken the wheels off this one because it's just like it works better on the on this, but so let's get radius in. We'll do a little speedy uppy and then we'll come over and we'll start talking about inlays. Blah blah blah. So I'll sped up the radii and the sanding because, oh, come on, there's limits to what you want to watch in it. Christ, you might as well go and watch Love Island.
No! God, please, no! No!
You have to excuse my voice today. I'm feeling a little hoarse. This is Sandy Toxvig, famous woman from Scandinavia's places. Here is the only sanding core I love. I have been sent a load from Crimson, actually. Thank you very much, Crimson. Special wave. I haven't used them yet. There are lots of varying radii that I don't fraternise with at the minute. I'm looking into radius in fretboards the same way that Texas Toast do, with the long belt sander and a cradle on top, so you can do multiple radii and all that sort of stuff. I just want to be able to say radii. That's all I'm doing. But StewMac sanding cores are fuck off expensive, but I love it because it's very long, fits in sandy perfectly. Oh, because this will never match what your router's doing. There'll always be differences. There'll always be ups and downs. It's like life, innit? You can't enjoy the ups until you've endured a few downs. Don't hide from the downs because they'll make the ups better. Brilliant advice. Brilliant. Go forth and multiply, mung beans. So I'll sand. I'll colour it in. I'll sand until the pencil's gone. I'll colour it in again and then I'll give it a quick touch up once again until the pencil's gone. And then we're pretty good. That bog oak is so smooth. Wait till you see what it does with a bit of minge fudge. Ho, 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 ho. She goes brown. So there you go. I had an email from Tone Rider Pickups, who is another brand that I used to use. And they've offered to send me a few pickups to try out. And I said, oh, why not? We'll use them on Mr. McCamley's NF-53. So we've got some Tone Rider P90s going in. I think it's P90s. I'll double check with him what he wants. So we're going to use them on a couple of builds. I still highly recommend Mr. Woman. They're just ridiculous price for what you get. All right, so I did actually get approached by another pickup brand quite a while back, but they're very expensive and it's not my cup of tea. I don't do the whole expensive boutique pickup thing. It's not something I want to press. It's not something that I think most of you need. Most of the time, I don't even think you need to upgrade the pickups on a Squire. I think they're fucking fine. Put it into time and your amp. That's always my recommend. But look at that for a bit of bog oak. It is absolutely dirty wonders. I've just realised I bought this. 6mm. And it's got like a flower inlay. You're not going to be able to see that. I'll try varying different ways of doing it and I'll try and get a focus. That's got a flower inlay. That's going to work really nice. So let's use this. I'm not convinced that this is going to work and not get mashed up when I saw it up. But we'll have a little cheeky go. It can't be fucking that bad, can it? What can I do? Fuck the neck up for the 4th time? Yep. Let's get marked up. Now, one thing you can do on here if you really want, and in fact we'll do it differently. We'll do it differently today. That bog oak's very, very dark. And what you absolutely don't want is wobbly lines. We don't want wobbly lines. So I'm going to use a bit of tape. Bit of tape right up the middle. Burnish your tape. See, much clearer, much easier. Now we can just centre all this up now. Now, if in doubt, you can just use a Stanley knife. Cut down those fret slots. So you can easily find your centres. Look at that, piece of piss. Get me centres marked. Ready? Right. Here's the best bit of knowledge you could possibly have. Hang on, let me just readjust. When you've done your marking out, count them again because you're a fucking idiot. So am I. Let's count them again, right? 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, 15, 17, 19, 21. That was actually the third take. But there you go. That's easy, isn't it? That's an easy bit for you to do. Now I'm just going to put a little centre punch in there so I can take my tape off. And we're ready to drill some holes. Fucking piece of piss. Piece of piss. This is supposed to be 6mm, but it's Chinesium, so we'll double check. 6mm, exactly. I'll take it back. I'll take it back. So I'm going to use the point from my 6mm, and I'm just going to put my fucking glasses back on. I need a monocle. I need to be like Games Master. And I'm just going to twist that, and I'm just going to get my points. I have had a wobbly fret marker before, and it does piss me off. Beautiful. Right, I'm going to peel off the tape one by one so I know where my dot is. And that point is going to go down, it's just going to touch the truss rod. So you can't really, you ain't got to worry about going too deep, which is not something I've ever got to worry about anyway. Right, that's what you end up with. Some holes that should all be in a line, and they are. That's good for me. That's better than usual. Stop doing these fucking quirky looks to the camera, Paul. You look a right twat. Well, I've got no idea how nicely this is going to saw. This is my only concern with this stuff. When I saw through this with the hacksaw and then file it smooth, is it going to chuff it up? Is it still going to look pretty? No idea at all. But we can only find out, can't we? So out comes the super glue. You've seen all this before in your super glue. And I use... Now, what I've actually got for this, going on the advice of people last time, is I've altered a little fret protector with a 6mm hole, and that's going to slide down over that. So when I'm cutting it with my hacksaw, I hopefully won't fuck up the wood. Ho-ho! This twat's learning. Not very fast, but I'm learning. So calm down. Going to rim the hole. We're rimming with this. That's the technique of the day. Well, I've got a suspicion that that's stainless steel, because that's hard as fuck. Right, a bit of a file up. Well, that's going to take a lot of sanding and a lot of love, but it's going to look very cool. So I'm going to crack on with that. I'm going to do all the rest of them, and they're going to be just as awkward as that first one that I just filmed. But we'll snip back in when I've given this a good sanding again, and we're ready for a bit of fret work. That might see us to the end of the video. Oh, I don't know. The Chapman video has just gone live, and he's just commented saying, I might meet you at, he said, I might meet you at Guitar Summit or some other foreign thing. Fucking hell, mate. I don't go past Newton Abbot. I don't go very far from my workshop. I don't get very far from work. Let's dispense with the travelling niceties. If you want to come down here and have a pasty, Rob, and do a fluff video, you're more than welcome, brother. See you later on. I'll see you in a minute when I've finished doing this, because it's going to take me about an hour. You don't want to sit through that.
One eternity later.
Right, let's turn off the tunes. Oh, Mr. Gilmore. Lick him front to back, wouldn't you? Right, don't know where that came from. I'm all done. That took fucking ages. There we go. I cannot reveal... Oh, camera's over there. I cannot reveal the minge fudge effect until later, because if I minge fudge now and it gets in the joints, then when I CA glue my frets in, they're not going to sit. It's like a lubricant for a fret, and you don't want a lubricant because it's lubricating. It's no good, is it? But that's, I think we're getting somewhere now. That's a nice little bit of videography done there. Lots of swear words, lots of anger. Still needs a good tidy up. It's a right little mess around the side here. That's the end of the video. I'm a special waving. Thanks for coming, everyone. Make sure you like and subscribe. Always watch the video to the end, because I like to put a little comedy clip in, don't I? Because it makes you, weak-minded motherfuckers, stay till the end. And when I say that, I say it with a term of endearment, because I am weaker-minded than most. Love you lots. Always a pleasure.
We had a priest in Ireland, he said Mass on a Sunday in 20 minutes, and we loved him. Pedophile. I know. No one's perfect. It's okay, he's not a priest anymore. He's the bishop now.